Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Coupe and I'm back and I'm bringing you another League of Legends match. I'm still using Wukong, but I'm pretty sure he's called Volcanic Wukong, and he's a big flaming pile of volcanic. I zoomed in here so you guys could take a semi-decent look at the character, and then I zoom back out so you guys can see the actual gameplay. Again, I'm using the theater mode in League of Legends, which is LOL replay. It's pretty cool. It's all you need to do is have it running. Now, this is something that I'm playing with my buddy Jim. He's Lomac. He uses Ash, and this is something that me and him try and do every game when we're playing on the same level, when we're both playing bottom. What we do is we go sit in their bush, and it's a tactic that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but most of the time, I'd say 50% of the time, we either scare the shit out of somebody and take off almost all their life, or there's a high percentage of the time that we actually kill somebody. So we just sit here and we wait until somebody comes and pokes. We don't attack them because we're hiding in the bush, and when you're in the plants in the bush, like I mentioned before, they cannot see you. So the second they poke in the bush is when they can see you, and that's when you strike. And now he's using freezing arrows, so that way he runs away a lot slower. And I'm pretty sure one of us used Ignite to also drain some of his life. So now they're short a guy. And we killed somebody before the minions even spawn. It takes about 30 seconds before the minions. I'd say 30 seconds to a minute. No, wait, 2 minutes, because if you look at the clock, it takes about 2 minutes before the minions. No, the minions have already spawned. They're there. Anyways, we usually kill somebody before the minions get there, or if they have two people. Sometimes we can get two people down to next to nothing. And we didn't lose any life. And Jim's got long range shots, so he can just sit there and poke at somebody, and now that person's half life. One thing I did mention in the previous video was about make sure that you get the last hits on the minions. Last hitting minions basically means that you wait for them to be almost dead, and then you go in and you finish them off. So you let the minions do most of the work, and you take less risk of going in and getting damaged, and you get the gold from it. You get experience from it, no matter if you've killed them or not, as long as you're nearby. What I've figured out actually is the distance you are away from the minions, the more experience you earn. So if you're right next to them when they die, that's when you gain the most experience. So being near them is a good part of it. However, if you are, a little chunk away, see, my Jim screwed up there, and he got finished off by the turret, because you cannot attack enemy champions near their turret without them harming you. The problem is that these two guys thought they were going to be able to take me out, and this guy now is all by himself, and he's just going to die because he's stupid. And I'm pretty sure I get away. Oh no, wait, I think I finished them both off. Yeah, so I get a nice double kill. Possible tactic that you guys can use if you guys want to play this game is run down there as fast as you can. So what me and Jim do is we buy our things as quickly as we can, and then you press right on the mouse on the mini map, and it will target where you want your champion to go, your character to go. So we do that, and then you pick which of the QWE levels that you want to unlock. Like I mentioned before, my Q is the power attack, my W is the clone, and my E is the lunge attack. Now what I like to do is I like to do my unlock my power attack first, and that way I can take them out before I get a nice good power. I think I screw up here. Yeah, I did. That's my death. So, and the within theater mode, it automatically, when you die, it just starts cycling through all the players in the game. So that's my first and only death of the game. This is a 20-minute game because the enemy team actually surrenders. You're allowed to surrender after 20 minutes, and the enemy team decides to do so. So this is a 20-minute game, and after, we're pretty much stomping them out in their base, and then they end up surrendering. But the benefit to, It's not a lot of benefit to dying because you're giving them gold, but one of the benefits to dying is you get to go back and you get to spend some of your gold. I find that I do that a lot where I'm just sitting there in the battle and I don't go back, because when you're going back you're missing out on experience on ranking up, and you're missing out on you know, possible gold that you can get from doing all the damage. So I am a level, I can't see for sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm a level 5 and that person's a level 3 because they've had to go back twice now. So this person doesn't really stand much of a chance. By me going back, I actually I used my ignite on him there. By me going back, I was able to buy more powerful weapons, more powerful upgrades, so that I do more damage, even more damage. So it's a really good way to get ahead of them on the game. Now I'm auto attacking right now at the moment, and that's when you just, if your champion stands near an enemy, if they're within the radius of their attack mode, they will just automatically attack you. But the reason I was trying to kill off the minions as quickly as possible is because there's no enemy champions, and I figured I had enough minions to receive damage from the turret that I could actually start working on the turret and almost take it out. I pretty much get a lot of damage on it before I have to deke out, because of the fact that the turret started shooting me. I am one of the things that I start out with. I used to start out with the bear. I can't remember the name of it. Something blade, Baron's blade. Might be called Baron's blade. And basically, what it is the sword. It ends up using, and when you're playing 5v5, it uses all of your gold. But this sword, what it does is it gives you an additional 10 damage. It gives you 180 health, and it gives you mana regeneration for every basic attack. 5+5 mana regen for every basic attack. And it's actually a really good thing to start it with, but it has no upgrades. Most things that you can buy in this game have upgrades. So you buy a regular longsword, which does 10 damage, but you can then upgrade it to other things. You can upgrade it to better swords that do more damage and whatnot. I actually deked out there because I didn't want to get killed by the minion. And when you're this low of health, it's definitely smart to press the B button, which is called recall, and what it does is it teleports you right back to the base. And I had some gold, so it never hurts to go back and buy a few things. Health potions and mana potions, those are some things that come extremely useful. Health potions basically make it so that when you pop in a health potion, it regenerates 150 of your health over the course of 5 seconds. Pretty sure it's 5 seconds. Early on in the game, that's a good percentage of your health, and if you can buy 5 mana pots, that can keep you in the battle for a longer period of time, which basically ends up getting you more gold, getting you more experience. The more time you spend away from the battle, the less experience you actually get. I'm kind of like spitting off like basic stuff, like regular stuff. If you've been playing this game for a year or two, or even a little period of time, you're pretty much already aware of this. I'm kind of just giving the people that don't really know too much about the game some ideas on it, some pointers. I've only been playing for about a month and a half, so I am no pro by any means, but I do have some good games and some bad ones. If any of you guys actually use this theater mode called LOL Replay, and you know how to get rid of all this shit and just make it look standard viewing mode, let me know, because that would be great. Another thing that is very useful, which is when you first start out, you don't find it useful, you don't think it's that big a deal, is called a sight ward. And what a sight ward is, I've mentioned it in the other game, the other video, I'm pretty sure. A sight ward, what it is it's a little, it's like a little camera that you put down. And what it does is it highlights the map, and it shows that area of map at all times for the course of 3 minutes. And yeah, so it highlights the map for 3 minutes. And what you want to do is you want to put it in areas. Usually when you're playing bottom or when you're playing top, you want to put it in the river, because there's a river that goes on a diagonal across the map. You want to put your sight ward in the river, and that way you can see if somebody from top lane is coming to help, or if somebody from from mid lane is coming to help. Plus, usually teams have a jungler, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned what a jungler does before. But what a jungler does is he goes through the map and takes the see those gold skulls that I mentioned before in the middle of the map, where it's darker. If you're looking on the mini map, there's buffs that you kill by killing certain monsters. And in jungler, what they do is they run through the jungle area, killing these creatures that give them buffs, and then they come and help. And what they do is they help top, or they help bottom, or they help mid, depending on who's either in need of help or who could use their help to make a good push and take out a turret. We're about halfway through the game here, and me and my teammate Lomac, who's playing as Ashe, are actually just making a good push on their turrets. And by doing that, it does one of two things. One, it creates a pathway for your team to advance to win the game by getting into their base and destroying their inner turrets and winning. And two, it actually takes enemies away from their posts. It forces them to come down and help out, and then their posts, whether it's center or whether it's top lane, or if they have a jungler, that person is not able to go help out anybody else, and they have to come down and get distracted by us. And by doing that, we have plenty of time to go back to base, heal, buy more things, buy more upgrades of weapons or boots or armor or health, and get back to our turret before they do any damage on it. And it looked like it helped center lane advance, because center lane took out a turret a few seconds ago, 15 seconds ago. And now we're on our way back. And I didn't speed up any of the travel time this time, partly because of the fact that it's a shorter game. It was only 20 minutes, and I've already died my one time, so I have no problem going in there and helping out. I have a lot of health right now because of the fact that I bought I can't remember what it's called, something belt. Not really good with names, never have been. Kind of waiting for my teammate to get in here and help out, and use my ultimate on this guy. Now the bird is really interesting. It has 2 lives, so you kill it and then it lays an egg, and you have to kill it twice. There's actually a few things in this game that give you a second life. There's a character, and he has a big fucking clock on him. I call him Grandfather Clock. I don't know what his actual name is, but he has a big clock on him, and what he does is he reverses time on somebody. He puts a clock over somebody, reverses time on them, so that when they die, it takes them back to when they still had life. So basically you have 2 lives. So if you're playing with Grandfather Clock, or whatever his actual name is, don't be shy to put it in the comment section below. If you're playing with that character on your team and he puts that thing on you, it's really good to go into battle, because you can end up, you're gonna come back. They have to kill you twice. But that bird that we're playing, that I was just playing against, it actually lays an egg, and you can still kill the egg to actually finish him off. It doesn't have a lot of health, so it's pretty easy to kill. Its total health is pretty low. I didn't know that bird was actually in there. I was just running through. I was trying to regenerate, and there's certain monsters in the jungle that actually give you health. So when you're higher level, it's a really good idea actually to kill them. They go on a percentage, as opposed to just like, when you start out in the game, you start with like 300 to 380 health, and when you kill, as you get later on in the game, you end up like with 3,000. By the end of the game, I usually my health ranges, depending on what I buy for the game, ranges from 2,000 to 3,000 health. So when you're giving something that just gives you 180 health later on in the game, that's completely useless, really. But when you kill something that gives you a percentage of your health back, that's a lot better, because it gives you, no matter if you have 2,000 or you have 200, if it gives you 10%, you're getting either 20 life or 200 life. The percentage is way better. Killing that baby dragon is actually really good. It's really hard to convince my buddy Jim to actually do it, though, because one time we went to go do it and we ended up getting jacked, meaning enemies came up from behind us and ended up actually like killing us. And so ever since then he's like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. But what it does is it gives everybody on your team 180 gold, so it's really good for your team to actually take them out. especially bottom lane. If somebody's bottom lane or somebody's jungling, it's really good to go take out the dragon. Every time you either kill both your enemies or force them to go back due to low health, and you still have a lot of health, it's really good for you to double team the baby dragon. Baron, excuse me, Baron, however, is the red dragon, or the red. If you look on the mini map, it's the red emblem at the top lane of the river. Baron is he gives you all bonus damage buff, and he's actually really a lot more difficult to kill, but he's worth killing when you've either just killed like 4 or 5 or 3 to 5 of the enemy team and force them to be on defense, whether they only have the inner turrets left. It's really good to go in there, get Baron. Everybody gets the buffs. However, the buffs only stay on you as long as you're alive. Once you die, you lose every buff that you've earned. So, and buff means basically additional perks. Basically, it's like additional perks. They're always timed. When you kill Baron, his buff is longer than when you kill the other ones, but they usually range for about 3 minutes, around there. Cooldown times on your special abilities, like the spells, they're called spells. Each person can pick 2 spells at the beginning of the game from the same spell pool, meaning everybody has the same spells to pick from, and you get to pick 2 of them. And certain spells work really good with certain characters. Mine is really good with Flash and with Ignite. And what Ignite does, I think I've mentioned it before, but what Ignite does is when you target somebody with it, what it does is it drains a certain percentage of their life over the course of 5 seconds. And it's not really good to ignite somebody right away. What you want to do is you want to save it for when they're really low life and you can't get close enough to attack. Sometimes your ignite range is longer than your actual attack range. So you can ignite them and when they're really low in health and finish off kills. However, sometimes I do ignite them early, because what it does is it scares them. If you ignite somebody, they know that there's nothing they can do, and that's going to drain their health. And a lot of people get worried that it's going to drain their health way too much, and they deke out really quick. It spooks people. I use it more as a scare tactic than I do actually to finish people off. We are coming close to the end here. Do I have any other pointers, any tips and tricks of League of Legends for somebody who's only been playing it for a month? As much as I can give, I guess. Oh, one thing I wanted to say, a tactic that I use beginning match, especially if I'm playing top lane by myself. The way that my character is supposed to go is my character is supposed to play top lane by himself, and you're supposed. I'm not really supposed to double team bottom, but for some reason me and Ash would work really good together. The only time we don't work really good together is if we're playing against 2 long range characters, which is very rare. One of them, usually one's a support character, so what his job is to go in and help out the enemy, help out his teammate get kills, and that's for the most part we can handle. It's when we're playing against 2 long range characters that we kind of get screwed, because Jim's a fairly long range character. I'm definitely a short range. However, I can leap long ranges with my lunge attack and also flash. Flash, I've mentioned it before, but flash basically darts me towards wherever I'm going. It looks like 10 meters. I'm really good at getting out of situations. This is one of those situations where if I go back, he's gonna kill me and he's gonna kill my teammate. Sometimes it's just best to let them die, and I know that sounds shady and it sounds shitty. If I had full health, I would have obviously turned around and fought him, but I remember talking with him and he was like, dude, just let me die, just go. And at this point I was the most fed. Fed means that you've killed the most enemies, and that means you've gotten the most gold, so you're the most powerful. So it's worth it for me just to go back instead of waiting 40 seconds to respawn and then run back into battle. It's better for me to go back, get more items to become extremely more powerful, and then get back into battle. So he was willing to sacrifice himself for the person who does the most damage to get in there and do battle. And at this time I was the most fed. Actually, yeah, I think I have 11-1. I can't really tell. It's really fuzzy while I'm watching it on the Premiere Pro screen, because it's trying to process it at the same time and such. So I'm going in to help. They are probably gonna forfeit soon. Actually, I think after I get in there and kill one more person, maybe 2 more people, they ended up actually forfeiting. So the game's pretty much over. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys have anything, any pointers, or any you know, if you're interested about the game, I'll do my best. I'm sure there's people in the comment section that will definitely help out as well. For knowledge people have been wondering where I'm at. I've actually just been taking a break from YouTube and just, you know, just playing different games. This game is not my type of game, but I've been enjoying the shit out of it, and I'm pretty glad that I have been. And yeah, so I'm also just kind of getting sick of I'm just waiting for the new systems. So the new Xbox and the new PlayStation. Whether I know which one I'm going to get yet or not, I'm not quite sure. I'm going to zoom in the scores at the end just so you guys can take a quick look. But this is pretty much it. I think they forfeit. Yeah, there they go. They forfeited. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want anything from me, let me know. This is Coupe saying, rate, comment, subscribe. Doochie doo skadoosh.